This is Caring for Kids on News Talk 760 WJR. Presented by the Children's Foundation. And here's your host, President and CEO of the Children's Foundation, Larry Burns.
Well, thanks, Mark. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our September 2021 edition of Caring for Kids. We have a great lineup tonight, all in studio, all in person, which is awesome. First, we'll have David Merritt and Kuhu Saha of Give Merritt. Then Matt Pepper, President and CEO of Michigan Humane. And Ernestine Sanders of the Saturday Scholar. It's all coming up next, right here on Caring for Kids, on the great voice of the Great Lakes, News Talk 760 WJR.
It's Caring for Kids with Larry Burns.
Welcome back. Larry Burns here, Caring for Kids. Delighted to be your host. Joining me now is David Merritt and Kuhu Saha. Kuhu is the executive director and co-founder of Give Merritt. Prior to this role, Kuhu worked for the AmeriCorps in youth development and for the Ann Arbor Area Community Foundation. Kuhu is a University of Michigan graduate where she studied sociology and American culture. David is the board chair and co-founder of Give Merritt, the founder and co-owner of Narrow Way Cafe and Shop, and an associate pastor at Straight Gate Church. He's a busy man. Dave is also a University of Michigan graduate and was captain of the men's basketball team. Together, Kuhu and Dave founded Give Merritt in 2011, have worked with over 150 youth, and have awarded almost $200,000 in scholarship funding. Dave and Kuhu, welcome to Caring for Kids. So I've known you both for a number of years now.
It has been a number of years.
Yeah, it's been great, and it's getting better all the time.
Every time I see you.
Yeah, well, thank you. Thank you very much. But our relationship continues to grow, which we're going to talk about. But tell our listeners a little bit about how you two met and decided to start Give Merritt.
It's been a while.
We have known each other now for 17 years.
Wow.
Yeah. Dave and I met at orientation for the University of Michigan.
Okay.
So we've just told our ages a little bit.
A little bit.
Whoops. But we've known each other now for that long. We were friends through college and started working together the first time in sort of 2008, 2009 time. We had a initial business that we started together that we ran for a little bit of time. And then...
As students?
Nope. A year out.
Okay.
A year out.
Okay.
Yeah. And then that kind of transitioned and pivoted its way to where we are today with both Merritt and Give Merritt. And you continue the story now a little bit.
Yeah. So both have a passion for young people. Our stories are a little bit different. Our backgrounds are different. But I think the thing that connects us most is just a heart to serve and a heart for young people and wanting to make sure young people in the city of Detroit have the adequate resources and opportunities to be successful. And that's what our organizations do. One, through fashion, which helps support our nonprofit through our company profits. And then we've been running for the last 10 years, this is our 10th year, a program in the city called FATE, which is an 8-year cohort-based program starting with high school students in the city of Detroit. But yeah, that's how we got started, is just friendship. But ultimately, why we're still working together is we're great friends. But at the same time, we believe the same thing in terms of what we believe young people in the city deserve.
So we're talking with Dave Merritt and Kuhu Saha from Give Merritt and Fate Academy. So tell us more about Give Merritt Fate program.
So the FATE program, we're celebrating our 10th year as Give Merritt in October, which is very exciting. Hard to believe, but around that same time, we started the FATE program. FATE program's in collaboration with our school partner, the Jalen Rose Leadership Academy. And we start with a cohort of 9th graders, about 25 of them. And the whole mission really with everything that we're doing is to help young people aspire. So we talk about really helping them find their passions. We feel like we've sort of failed as a community in creating, that support system to help them truly aspire, but also to help them believe, to instill confidence in themselves and their ability to go after their aspirations, and to help them recognize that they have value and the ability to contribute back to their communities right now where they stand, but also in the future. And so Dave mentioned, we sort of do that through the fashion brand, through kind of just style and product design and donating a portion of our proceeds. But in addition to that, the fashion brand serves as a backdrop to the programming that we do in the FATE program. And so when students enter in the 9th grade, they're with us for all 4 years of high school, doing a weekly after-school program. And each year is tied to a capstone project that has to do with the brand. And so it's really important to us that we are offering real-life application to the skills that they're using, and that we're recognizing that they're bringing value to the table where they stand right now. And so in the 9th grade, they're developing marketing and advertising campaigns for the brand. In the 10th grade, they're designing product collections for the brand. In the 11th grade, they're planning a citywide event. And then in the 12th grade, they're taking some of the skills they learned to intern for different companies. And so our last 12th grade group interned for Zingerman's for about 7 weeks, and then interned for the Detroit Lions, working for the ticketing department, working for their foundation, and working for marketing as well.
Are most or all of the kids from the Jalen Rose Academy?
They are.
Okay, great. So tell us about the 12th grade and then beyond.
Yeah, so there's this arc here, right? So we believe we're helping young people prepare to graduate high school. We believe work experience is crucial to that. We believe helping them see what they're capable of is very important. So that 12th grade year in these rotational internship programs, they're getting that hands-on experience and they're getting paid to do so. And then those students, all qualifying FATE students that graduate and are accepted to any post-secondary education program, we're promising up to about $8,000 in college scholarships at the moment.
Okay. Wow.
And we're currently supporting about 150 Detroit youth through the program, which then they become alumni. And so now we have a 4-year college program, which continues that personal and professional development for them, and then helps set them up for internships and job placements to ultimately prepare them for their careers.
Wow, that's terrific. And can you rattle off some of the universities or colleges that they've attended?
We can.
Yeah.
Eastern State, Albion,
Yep.
Tennessee State.
We have one at Tennessee State enjoying himself.
Wayne State.
Of course, Wayne
Oakland.
State. Central Michigan?
Central.
Yep, Central.
All right, I'm a Chip.
You're a
so-
Chip?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Go Chips.
Yes,
We have
Fire
a-
Up
It's called
Chips.
Fire Up Chips.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah.
that's all right.
Get it together, man.
I'm sorry.
You didn't know.
Go Blue.
Right. Yeah,
Go
that I
Blue.
know.
I mean,
I thought everyone was the same.
everyone should be. I don't know.
That's funny. And so how old would the first cohort be about now?
First cohort are
23.
like 23.
Okay,
years
so
old.
out of school and
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
And we just got word that one of our students got a new job at Chase
Chase.
Really?
Yeah. At Chase Bank.
this week. So we're very
Yeah.
excited.
Yeah. Yep.
those are great lessons for the kids who are just starting out
Yeah.
Mhm.
to see what's possible.
Mm-hmm.
So we've talked for a while, you and I and Kuhu, about your big capital project.
Mhm.
And I know you're making progress on that. It's very exciting. So do you mind telling our listeners all about that?
Yeah, so we've been doing this work, as you've heard many of times, for about 10 years. For us, it's been a slow process. We believe in the time that we've spent really perfecting what we do with our youth development work, but we think we have something special here. We think there's some special sauce that we can scale and we can impact even more, hopefully hundreds and thousands of young people throughout the region. And so we've been working on this project for about 4 years to build a park in a Detroit neighborhood across from where we are. We're calling it a holistic life skills and fitness center, with the focus being on how do we get young people active and get them active 60 minutes a day through innovative programming, through sport and play, but at the same time utilizing community strategies, placemaking strategies, green strategies to really impact the greater community, and using sport and play as a draw to then expand educational opportunities for young people. And to do this right where they are. We think that's critical.
Yeah.
We love what's happening downtown. We love the opportunities in the suburbs. But for a lot of Detroit families, it's always outside of their neighborhood.
Right.
And we
Right.
believe
And transportation's a factor too.
transportation is an issue as well. And so we believe that they deserve a facility like this. They deserve a space like this. And so we're very excited. 4 years in the making, hopefully in the last stages of planning and preparation, but something that we're really excited about as an organization.
So what are some of the components of the project?
we're talking about, right, there's sort of this like physical impact that we want to have, fitness-based, educational impact, economic impact, and environmental impact. And so some of the things you'll find there, which we're really excited about, I think that speaks to kind of health and wellness especially, is at one end of the park, there will be a shipping container yard that will include some food, retail, beverage. So also just excited about the opportunity to kind of catalyze some momentum of economic development in the neighborhood that we're in as well. But one of the items in that shipping container, or one of the containers, I should say, is going to be a teaching container as well. And so it's one thing to talk about healthy eating, but it's another thing to be able to teach people how to cook with different vegetables that you've never heard about or different foods that you've never heard about. So that's one component I'm really excited about.
One of our partners is Big Green. Have you ever heard of them?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So we're supporting several gardens. And so that's something maybe we can talk about too.
Yeah.
And they do that. They grow vegetables and teach kids.
Great program.
Yeah. How to cook and prepare them. So that's good. And I know there's going to be, in essence, what I'll say, like a soccer field too.
Yep. There'll be a miniature turf field for us to do some small football activities, but also potentially introducing neighborhood youth to lacrosse and 5-on-5 soccer and futsal. There'll be an obstacle course, rock climbing wall. We will have a gym as well. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It is cool. I've seen pictures.
And pretty.
Will there be a place for like a classroom setting?
Yeah, what I think is cool about it is that we look at all the spaces being transformable. So the basketball court will be covered. And so that's an opportunity to kind of transform that into a classroom. We're looking to have some really nice video and audio equipment as well to turn all of that into educational opportunities as well. So I think that's the multi-useness of the facility will allow for that.
So the reason I'm asking those selfishly is because I think you know that we're now running, the Children's Foundation is running First Tee Greater Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
And we're using facilities like your future facility. We do it at Durfee and at PAL to teach kids about golf, particularly in the bad weather. And we do that inside, and then we're teaching them about 9 life skills too. And so some of it's needing a gym, some of it's needing a little classroom. And then the kids can come from the neighborhood. That's our main mission, is to serve kids in Detroit in the neighborhoods. I think the Children's Foundation will have a multiple partnership with you as you move forward.
We're looking forward to it.
Yeah, your tenacity and your resilience 4 years into it is admirable.
Well, when you work with the young people that we work with, that's kind of easy.
Yeah. And you've mentioned your location, but you haven't mentioned where it's actually at. Do you mind mentioning so our listeners know what you're talking about?
That is totally secret. No, it's off of Grand River in Livernois. It's off of Grand River in Livernois.
And that community hasn't had a lot of what's happened like downtown and some of the other places.
Yeah, we're hoping to bring with this, but also other things that are happening, more and more resources to meet more needs that are in that community.
Sure. Anything else you want our listeners to know about anything that you're doing? And the last question I'm going to ask you is, how can people help you?
Yeah, I don't know if there's anything, but I want the listeners to know just how incredible Larry is. I do want the listeners to really don't just listen to the podcast, to listen to it. Just know, like on a real level, like he's the guy making a ton of impact in the community. Just a great person, and we're honored to.
Well, thank you. That's very nice for you to say. Anything else, Kuhu, you want to say?
No, I want to end on that.
No, we want to end on that note only.
Right. Well, we'll have you back, particularly as the project gets rolling. And is there a time frame that you're looking at?
Yeah, we're hoping to start within the next year or so, building it, with everything that's going on. That is still our hope. So be believing with us. And then if anyone wants to check out our work, merrittgoodness.com and givemerritt.org are the two websites that you can take a look at. We're always looking for mentors for our students in our programming. So if you want to hang out with some young people and be a positive role model for youth in Detroit, please let us know.
Okay, great. That's David Merritt. We call him Dave. And Kuhu Saha of Give Merritt and Fate Academy. So thank you both, and look forward to seeing you soon.
Thanks for having us.
Yep, coming up next, we're going to talk with Matt Pepper about his work with Michigan Humane. When Caring for Kids continues, right here on the great voice of the Great Lakes, News Talk 760 WJR.
Welcome back to Caring for Kids on WJR. presented by the Children's Foundation.
Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us on Caring for Kids, September edition. Now with me on Caring for Kids is Matt Pepper. Matt is the President and Chief Executive Officer of Michigan Humane and has served in this capacity since 2014. Matt has 20 years of experience in animal welfare. He also serves on several industry boards, including the National Animal Care and Control Association, the Michigan Association of Animal Control Officers, and the Louisiana Animal Control Association, as well as chair-elect for the Association for Animal Welfare Advancement. Matt, welcome to Caring for Kids. So, Matt, for all of our animal lovers, tell us about your journey, about your role in getting the leadership role you have now.
Yeah, so first off, anyone who has a pet knows how great my job is. That every day I'm hanging out with dogs and cats and everything you can imagine. And rabbits, snakes, anything. Anything you can imagine, we've seen it at one time or another. I'm a Grand Valley graduate from 99, and I originally started in advertising and public relations.
Okay.
Thought I was going to...
That makes perfect sense.
There it is.
Yeah.
Thought I was going to follow my dad's career into business, and then one day I really realized that that's not my passion. And my dad always taught me, just if you find something you're passionate about, do it. Be successful and go do it. I don't think he thought I was going to change from advertising and public relations to wildlife biology.
Right.
But I did, and he was supportive. And from there, I sort of just started my chapters upward and onward. So I started in Kent County. I was a cruelty investigator for several years. I was an animal control supervisor. I was Sergeant Pepper for the music fans out there.
Right.
From there, I went on to Shreveport, Louisiana, to Memphis, Tennessee, to Albuquerque, New Mexico. All along, I had this vision in my head of what animal welfare is and what it isn't and what it can mean to a community. And every step along the way, I sort of discarded what I didn't think was working and elevated what I really thought was working in a community. And then when Michigan Humane, then the Michigan Humane Society called me, at first I sort of was hesitant because I had a beautiful job driving through the Petroglyphs National Monument, Sandia, sun rising over the Sandias. I loved my job. But once I got off the plane to interview, I realized that this community there's something special about this community. There's something special about the passion and pride that this community has for not only this town, but the animals that we're a part of. And Michigan Humane was such a long history of being successful in the work that they do, that this was the place where I could sort of take that vision I have for what animal welfare means in a community and make it a reality.
You mentioned that Humane used to be Society. Michigan Humane used to be Michigan Humane Society. We had a name change a couple of years ago at the Children's Foundation from the Children's Hospital Michigan Foundation, and that's worked out very well. So tell us a little bit about the reasoning behind your name change.
Yeah, I think the primary driver was an evolution in this community, an evolution in the industry, an evolution in our organization, and us really taking a hard look at who we want to be. But in order to do that, you sort of got to step back and think about our history. So we have a long history. So we started in 1877, and we started in sort of a non-traditional way that people think of us for. We started protecting horses coming out of the Civil War and women and children, the subject of domestic violence. So when we first started, our work was very intertwined, and it still is to this day. And in 1924, we converted from the Humane Society to the Michigan Humane Society, because at that time we were the only one. And there's a couple reasons. Number one was brand confusion. The word Humane Society is a generic term, and sometimes I think people think the Humane Society of the United States and Huron Valley Humane Society, are they connected to us? And in fact, we're a standalone organization. Right. We're a large one, but a standalone organization. But the bigger reason was who we wanted to be. We consider ourselves a human-centered organization that works through the animals. And when you think about the word humane and humanity, that is not limited to pets. You can extend humanity to your neighbor. And our work, we feel, instills compassion into people. And that creates a better community for everyone. But the other one was the name Society in and of itself. When we started, if you read the old papers on how we formed, we were an organization, exclusive, fee-based membership organization that stood on the sidelines and told people how to live their lives. And then if you think about the world we live in right now, that doesn't fit anymore. That's not who we want to be. That's not who anyone wants to be. We want to be not just located in a community. We want to be a part of a community. Right. And we want to be inclusive of the neighborhood. We want the neighborhood to be a part of what we do and see themselves in our work.
Great. And I've seen it happen. So you're doing it very, very nicely. So we're talking with Matt Pepper from Michigan Humane. We've talked recently, you and I had a chat about the impact that the pandemic has had on children and families. We read about that. We witness it. We see it. And how has it impacted our pets and other animals?
Yeah, well, so first of all, I want to comment on the first part of your question, which is how pets have impacted our lives. And you think about, you're a child right now going through the pandemic, especially at its early stages, and one day you're at school with your friends, and the next day you're at home, you can't go back to school, you can't go to the playground, you can't play with your friends, and you really don't know what's going on. Think about the very real emotional and psychological support that pets provide us, especially the young ones. Think about the opportunities for exercise when all that was taken away, to go and take your dog for a walk.
Right.
Pets were a critical part of our ability to make it through this pandemic. And for pets, what we found was people needed pets in their lives, that lives are better with pets. We're still seeing adoption numbers that are just off the charts. People are adding and welcoming families and pets into their families to help get them through these times.
Yeah, absolutely. So what's on the horizon for Michigan Humane? I know you have a lot of community-based goals. We're talking with you about a partnership with the Children's Foundation, which I think will only be the beginning of our relationship. And so what do you want our listeners to know about what's going to happen next in the months and years ahead?
Yeah, I think you're going to see our focus on community and on driving true change in this community. I think for a long time, we almost did ourselves a disservice by thinking that adopting an animal to a loving home after all the rehabilitation work we did was the end of the story. And now we realize it's not. That the family that adopted that animal is now much healthier. That there's research that shows if you have a pet, you're 31% less likely to die of heart disease or stroke. You're 35% more likely to be more active. And active communities are safer communities. There's a lot of studies around the economic impact of animal welfare, that if you're this new generation of workforce, having an animal-friendly employer and animal-safe spaces to take your pets, that's how you're choosing where to live and where to relocate to. And when you think about some of the challenges we have, attracting and retaining young talent. Well, my vision over the next several years, and starting this year that we're going to launch, is that I feel like Detroit can be the most humane community in the country. I feel like Metro Detroit can do something that's special. And again, what I love about it is it's talking about our work, but as it relates to the quality of life for everyone, whether you're a person or a pet, 4 legs, 2 legs, or 3 legs like my dog, either one. Right. We're really going to talk about elevating our role in being a bigger part of the solution. So you talked about our partnership. You know, when people think of dog bites, specifically around children, they think of packs of dogs running around. The reality is that's not most dog bites. Right. Most dog bites occur in the home, and it's because maybe a dog wasn't feeling well, maybe it had some dental problems, or there was some toothaches, or it wasn't, just wasn't socialized, and a kid goes near it and grabs it, and the dog lets them know he doesn't want them to be around. Right. That's most dog bites. Well, we can address that by giving people access to services and care. And, we had one of our One Health events this past Wednesday, and it's an intersection with Health and Human Services. It's people come in, get access to free care for their pets. And while they were there, Delta Dental was there helping with human dental needs.
Margaret Trimmer.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's one of our biggest supporters.
City Detroit was there giving out COVID vaccines. We work very close with Gleaners and Forgotten Harvest. If you can't, we handing out dog food. The reality is pets and people's lives are intertwined. And if you can't afford to feed your dog, we want to help you. But let's talk about what else the issue is. You're probably struggling to feed yourself. Right. So we've handed out hundreds of human food that's from Gleaners and Forgotten Harvest to help us support families and keep them together. Yeah,
so nobody would have thought of that just naturally. So, Matt, what else do you want our listeners to know about Michigan Humane, and how might they help?
Yeah, so if you have any questions at all, go to our website, michiganhumane.org, 1-866-MHumane. Really what I want them to know is there's so many ways to help. And number one is be a voice. Yep. Be a voice for the animals in your community. If you see something, let us know. If you need something, let us know. But there's so many ways to help. It could be volunteering. It could be donating. It could be adopting. It could be just being a voice for the animals in your community, and being a voice for just kind of being a better person.
Yes, and your colleague Jamie is saying donating is probably the best thing they can do.
Hey, donating keeps us going. That's right.
Right. I get that. So, Matt, thanks for all you're doing. Our community and our state and our country's better off because of people like you, and certainly our pets and animals are. So keep up the great work.
Yeah, thanks, Larry. Couldn't do it without your support.
Well, we're going to do more than we're doing now, and that's a promise. So thank you very much. That was Matt Pepper from Michigan Humane. Next, we're going to hear from Ernestine Sanders of the Saturday Scholar, when Caring for Kids continues here on the great voice of the Great Lakes. News Talk 760 WJR.
Welcome back to Caring for Kids on WJR. Presented by the Children's Foundation. Once again, here's Larry Burns.
All right, now with me in the studio is Ernestine Sanders. Let me tell you a little bit about Ernestine. Ernestine is the founder and CEO of My Saturday Scholar and president and CEO of the Cornerstone Schools Association. Ernestine has created operational models of education that are demonstrated by proven data and high performance at the elementary and secondary levels. Ernestine has received multiple awards for her work, including Michiganian of the Year, the State of Michigan Excellence Award, and the Outstanding Education Award from the College of Education at Michigan State University. And that's just to name a few. Ernestine, welcome to Caring for Kids.
Well, thank you. I'm just delighted to be here. And anytime that I can talk about kids, children, I'm excited to do that.
Well, that's what this show's all about. So you're in the perfect place. So tell us about your journey. You have remarkable history and things that I mentioned in the introduction. Tell us about your journey.
Well, you know what, Larry? I started out as a teacher. I started out in public school and not too far from here, right in St. Clair Shores, Michigan. And when I was a teacher, I started out with middle school students. And it was a really wonderful opportunity because I'm not from Michigan, I'm from Indiana, and I got a chance to meet friends that are lifelong friends that were teachers with me. And then after that, I went into the private schools. I was with the Friends School in the city of Detroit.
I remember that school, yes.
And then I went to the Roper School for the Gifted, which was a great experience. And I came to Cornerstone Schools, and I've had a long association there. And now working with the Saturday Scholar. So it's been an exciting journey and one that continues because I believe that we should be lifelong learners and put to work what you know.
Yeah, absolutely. And you were named the Michiganian of the Year.
That was an exciting time, and I'll tell you why, because with that, of course, it's a humble thought to think that you can get an award like that. And what was exciting about it is that there were a number of people that were inside of that class, and they had done many, many things. So, of course, it's always good to have someone think that you're doing something right.
Right.
And being in education, especially in urban America, especially Detroit as well, that you're trying to make that difference for kids, and that's where I am today.
Wonderful. So we're talking with Ernestine Sanders from Saturday Scholar, and I know Saturday Scholar is making a big difference in lives of students, kids, but many of our listeners might not know about Saturday Scholar, so can you tell us about what you do there?
So the Saturday Scholar, what we decided to do, and I have a partner, Rosalie Watrick, who's with me as well.
She's awesome.
Yes, she is. But I came up with that because I thought that our students needed more. We have many young people who aspire to go on to college, and we know that one of the things that they have to do is that they have to score well on their ACT or the SAT. And what I've been finding in education is that more work is really needed in terms of reading, math, and writing. So what we do at the Saturday Scholar is that our students come in, they work all morning, and we have found when they have been there that they want to be there, that they really want to learn. And you can't help but be inspired when you see young people who have that desire. So the Saturday Scholar works from October to all the way into April, May, and we do that preparation. So our kids come in, they're ready to learn, our teachers are there, and it's exciting to see. But we have another dimension to it as well. I found that our parents will stay the entire time. Many of them don't have the mobility to go and come when they drop off and pick up their children. So when we found that out, we would say, well, just stay in this room. So it was an opportunity that we had not only to educate the children, but to provide services for our families. And so we started by bringing program to them. So they would get programs about how to apply to college. We found that many of our scholars are first generation going into the university or college.
Right.
And so helping their parents to know what to do, what questions to ask, we have many programs for them. And then aside from learning that reading and math, our students get a chance to have program information. So it's one of those entities that we have that allows us to provide as much as we can so that the path, the journey that our students have, that they're well informed, and we're just providing more opportunities for them to be successful. One of the things that we found with our students who go away to school, that by December, if they're returning, it's for two reasons. The very first reason may mean that they just don't have enough funds to remain in the school. So that's why having an opportunity to know what to apply for, what's available, what grants are available is extremely important. And we work hard to make sure that they're not saddled with debt. Unfortunately, for many students that are aspiring to go on to higher learning, they may make those choices that would come back and would be very difficult for them. So having grants, having scholarships that they can apply for is really important.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've often said, as I learned more about enrollment and financial aid, that with Pell Grants in the United States, there's really nobody that doesn't have an opportunity to go to college.
Right.
If they're guided by someone like you and Saturday Scholar.
Thank you for that.
Yep.
And what I would also add, so the number two reason is that they're not prepared academically.
Right. That's a bigger issue than...
Oh, I think they're both huge.
Yeah, but
and so having that opportunity really to come
You're doing both. You're helping them get prepared academically.
Yes.
And what I found in a lot of the students, I know this interview isn't about me, but I have a passion for it. What we found, a lot of the students that we got Pell Grant, we got maybe a scholarship, that their study skills and their academic resilience wasn't strong enough that once they're in, to stay in.
So, you're exactly right. And what we found, that's an interesting word you said, was resilience. That's something that we see as well. And so with our students coming into Saturday Scholar, we're able, because we are doing pre, interim, and post assessments as we continue down that journey with them, we're able to see where they are at the beginning when they come into the program, where they are in a midpoint way, and then where they will leave us with.
Right.
And that data is very important. And sometimes sharing that with the students, sharing that with the parents, it helps them to see what they really may have not known, and then how they can dig in deeper.
Right.
So math and reading, those are two areas not only that we're looking in terms of our program, but when you talk about it, it's something that we're grappling with for youngsters and young people across the nation. So Saturday Scholar is one of the programs we're really proud of it, because we can take it and we can be very particular, and we can differentiate, and we can individualize our program so that our students can achieve more than they thought they could.
Right, and that's awesome. And so the Children's Foundation recently made a grant to Saturday Scholar, and this partnership is just beginning. Can you tell our listeners about the grant, what that's supporting?
So let me tell you, I am so excited about that. So when we applied for that grant, it was like we're over the moon that we got a chance to apply for it. So to be able to have that grant, it allows us to really bring in staff to pay them so that they can be there every Saturday. It allows us to bring resources to our students. So not only the types of things that you would have in terms of SAT and PSAT and ACT preparation, but if we need to do something with a Chromebook, the technology. So the Children's Foundation grant is a staple for us. It's foundational, and we are just very appreciative that you're a partner with us. And
wonderful. Well, it's our pleasure, and we hope for that just to continue as we grow together. So tell our listeners where Saturday Scholar actually takes place.
So Saturday Scholar takes place at University Detroit Mercy. And why we love that location is that it's right on a college university campus. And what I have found is that our parents, when they come in, they're excited to be there. So they feel that it's inspiring to them. We're right in the finance building, so they are able to have a pre-college experience right on a university
Right, sort of
campus.
get that feel of the campus and
Yes.
start dreaming about being a student there.
Oh, they do. And the parents love it as well.
Yeah, I can imagine. So great work. What else do you want our listeners to know about Saturday Scholar, and how can they help you?
So one of the things that they might be asking is, when does Saturday Scholar begin?
Okay.
So it's coming up.
October, you mentioned.
October 9th is our first day, and they can reach us. We have a website, the Saturday Scholar, so they can go right to the website,
Okay.
and they can get all of the information. And we also are reaching out to many schools so that we can reach out to the young people who might want to be with us. So we're putting our program in numbers of places. Places that they like to look at, of course, is social media.
Right.
So we have our own Facebook page. We are pushing out an Instagram page just
Okay.
for the Saturday
Very
Scholar.
smart, yes.
So there are many ways, but first and foremost, just go to our website, the Saturday Scholar.
Okay, and can people help financially?
I thank you so much
Yeah,
for that.
right.
Let me tell you a little bit about it. We are asking our students who can afford to pay, it's $600 for the full year experience. But we know that many of the students we serve, they really cannot do that. So we scholarship our students. And so anyone who's listening, if they would like to make a donation as a nonprofit, we would love to have them support the Saturday Scholar.
Good.
Because they will be helping one young person have that experience for the whole year.
So if somebody gave a $600 donation, that's supporting a student.
That's supporting one
And
student.
they can find out how to do that on your website?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Do you know what? It's so amazing. They can do it right there on the website. They don't have to go to another place.
Right.
Or they can call or ask for any questions by just going to the website.
Right. Well, working with Clark Durant for so long, you certainly know how to raise money, I assume.
Thank you for that.
Yes. Well, thank you for being on the show, and even more importantly, for all the great work you've done in your great career and what you're doing now as a partner with the Children's Foundation. So, Ernestine Sanders, thank you very much.
Thank you, Larry.
Yep. We'll have you back on to talk about how things went this year. So don't go anywhere. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to give you an update on some Children's Foundation news. Welcome back, everyone. That was a great show. 3 wonderful interviews, all partners, by the way, of the Children's Foundation. So that's even better. I'm also pleased to announce that we've set a date for the Jamie Daniels Foundation Roast. It's going to be on Monday, November 22nd. It's the 3rd annual. This year's roastee is the legendary Brett Hull of NHL fame and family fame. His dad, Bobby Hull, is in the Hall of Fame as well. The roast, again, will be virtual, and you can tune in to Bally Sports Detroit to watch. That's where the Tigers are on and the Red Wings. They're a great partner, so thank you, Bally Sports. Jamie Daniels Foundation Roast, November 22nd, 3rd annual. For additional information, head over to our website for details. I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight on Caring for Kids, and most of all for your continued support of the Children's Foundation. As I like to say, onward.
Caring for Kids with Larry Burns on WJR has been presented by the Children's Foundation.